up, everybody? Welcome to Philly with John Marks on PHLY. As always, sponsored by Bet Parks and Central City Toyota. Jesus, I feel like I need a shower and a cup of coffee and a cigarette after the last 2 days of the Eagles. Free agency hasn't even started yet. This is just the tampering period, everybody. But yeah, some unexpected move made yesterday. To discuss, joining me for the entire show, you know him, you love him. He's from blackgritty.com, and his name is Black Gritty, and he joins us, and he was going, he was arguing with Gillie Da King last night on Instagram. What's up, Black Gritty?
Good morning, sunshine. I mean, it is doom and gloom. Are you okay? Are you locked away in the bunker? Are you in a safe space?
Oh, man, I was outside throwing the softball around with the kids yesterday. I couldn't have been happier yesterday afternoon. I couldn't have been happier. All right, so let's start here. I didn't see the trade coming. I don't know who saw the trade coming. I did. Was it with you last week that I talked about being unhappy after the Saquon Barkley trade? And I specifically brought up CJ GJ, and I said he's the type of guy that has the personality that'll cause trouble if he decides, hey, you're paying him, you need to pay me. What are we talking about? So I don't know exactly what was going on behind the scenes, but I think it's pretty clear that he wants a new contract. He wants some new money. And now being traded to Houston, he's probably going to get a little taste of that. I mean, who knows? But I guess your reaction, I was shocked. I didn't see this coming when it came down yesterday mid-morning. But what's your reaction to CJ GJ being dealt to the Texans?
So I'm in a weird spot, Johnny Marks. Like, I am totally nonchalant about everything that's going to happen that's going on. I wasn't, we talked about this. I wasn't like, we need to get Myles Garrett. We're going to get Myles Garrett. The Eagles are always in the hunt for every star player you ever wanted in your whole life. They're always rumored to get them. And now I'm at a place where Howie has earned back my trust. We've talked about this for years, you and I, about how he's got to earn it back. I'm not ready to give it to him yet. Just because he had one good draft, I needed 3 good years out of Howie, and he's giving it to me. He's giving me 2 Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl victory. I don't care what happens right now, Johnny Marks. Like, nothing affects me. Like, I read the news, I had my tea, and I said, thank you for your service. For everybody that might be gone that is leaving, that's what I'm saying. Thank you for your service, because Howie's earned it. He's just earned it, and I don't care. I'm a Super Bowl champion. I am content, and I hate feeling like this, Johnny Marks. This is weird space for me.
It's weird. It is weird.
I love brumping. I love just picking on things, but man, I have to at some point shut up and say, hey, Howie, do your thing, and then let me see what's going on before I freak out. We got 6 months until football starts, Johnny Marks. 6 months. I
just ended a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally, as an Eagle fan, even though they just won the Super Bowl and they've been to the Super Bowl 2 and 3 years. We know the status of the Eagles organization and Howie Roseman, considered one of the best GMs. You had people after the season saying, like, Howie Roseman's a Hall of Famer. Like, everybody's showering Howie with affection now. He's the greatest thing ever. But it's also, I think it's fair to question whether or not this is a good football move. I know that this defense was better with CJ GJ on it. He had an infectious spirit to him. He had energy. He was a ball hawk. He was good in the run game. I mean, really, really versatile, good player. But what I'll say is that my eyebrows kind of raised and being like, all right, I hope there's a plan here. Well, of course there's a plan. We're talking about Howie Roseman. And ultimately, questioning the decision is fine. Going over the top, what the hell is Howie doing? Whoa, no, there's obviously a plan here. And the plan is, I don't know. Is there something that's happening? Is something going to happen today when this new league season starts at 4 p.m. when all these things become official? Because it's just weird, isn't it? Like, they didn't sign Isaiah Rodgers, and that was $8 million. And it's like, okay, they didn't sign Isaiah Rodgers. Oren Burks, who they could have brought back for pretty much nothing, $5 million over 2 years. Kenny Gainwell, I don't know how much money he got from Pittsburgh, but it seems like he's leaving for Pittsburgh late last night. So, like, these smaller moves that add up if you don't get all of them, right? Like, you're going to have to pay a replacement anyway. So it's not like that Oren Burks, like, you just get that, totally take that off your books. You got to pay somebody on the roster. I wonder if there's something else going on here. And they don't maybe have something in mind, like a trade for Trey Hendrickson to the Bengals? So, like, are they moving the salary? Because they're not getting any cap savings this year, Black Ready, for trading CJ GJ. They're getting cash savings. Not going to get too much in the weeds in this, but cap and cash is different. The Eagles spend more money than anybody. And, like, as much as people want to look at Jeffrey Lurie and say, he's a billionaire, what does he care? Yeah, but we're talking about liquid, right? To sign these contracts, you need to put this money in escrow. You just can't say, hey, we're giving you $120 million guaranteed, and, like, we'll catch up with you later. No, he's putting a lot of this money up front, and then the contract that's guaranteed has to go in escrow. So this may be difficult for an average person to understand because Jeffrey Lurie's a billionaire. He literally doesn't have enough money to pay everything and everybody here. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but to me, there's something else that's going on here that we're going to find out about, either with a trade, with a signing, or with some stuff coming out about CJ GJ afterwards. So we'll see.
Jeffrey Lurie has spent more money than any owner since 2016 on players. The money does run out at some point. Howie is a wizard. You can kick the canvas so much down the road. When you get down the road, you realize, holy crap, look at all these cans here. Somebody's got to clean them up. We can't even move down the street anymore because there's all these cans. So think about the fact that Fletcher Cox was still in the books for like $15 million, that Kelsey was on the books for $14 million, and the owner had to pay that out for these guys that are retired and weren't here. There are so many things in the background that people don't understand. And again, I know I feel weird saying Howie trust, but you know why I really trust Howie? What really has me going is Vic Fangio. His demeanor, his understanding of what he wants and what he sees. Long gone are the days where a Ferguson Whiteside got to play because Howie said, I drafted him, he's on the team. Huff did not get on that team on the field because he wasn't better than anybody else. Yeah. Jalen Hunt took his spot because that coach demanded excellence and he got it out of his players. So I have to trust that head coach, that defensive coordinator knows what he wants, and he's got relationships around the league. You hear other players talking about that are free agents saying, oh, well, I got ties to Vic and his defensive backs coach, and there's so many moving parts. It's day 2. We got 6 months. I'm going to keep saying it. It's day 2. We got a long time before we have to worry about what's going on. So I'm actually excited because think about this, Johnny Mars. This time last year, Isaiah Rodgers was our number 2 cornerback, and we were so happy to have him coming off of being, suspended for a year. We got Slay and Rodgers. We're set. And then roll around to the start of the season, Quinyon stole that spot and never looked back. You have no idea who's going to replace CJ. Who's going to replace? You don't know yet, dummy. Like I know. Like I said, I hate being happy. I don't know how people do it every day, but I'm so happy. I'm just happy. I'm trying to enjoy it for as little bit of window as I can, Johnny Marks.
Yeah, free agency haven't even started yet. So for people that are like, oh my God, like, all right, we'll figure it out. And by the way, if he doesn't figure it out and they end up losing because of a CJ GJ trade or whatever, like, all right, like, believe me, he's going to hear about it. All right. So this is after the trade happened yesterday. CJ GJ, Brenda, do we have this? This is his reaction. If you remember, after he left for Detroit, remember, like they were in contract negotiations. He finally went to Detroit. I believe it was a 1-year contract. He was pissed. He was not happy. And Eagles fans were giving him a bunch of crap on the way out the door because it felt like that, oh, you picked Detroit over the Eagles, and he was butthurt about it or whatever. He's very happy to be leaving Philadelphia this time around. Here's CJ GJ after it all went down yesterday.
I ain't lying to you. I thought they were fools. For real, they don't know his test. I ain't lying. I saw 3-1. I'm like, man, they were fools. They damn sure got me. They playing crazy with me right now. But no, it wasn't no love law. It wasn't no bad blood. It was a great phone call. Great phone call. It was an amazing phone call to be all the way thorough. Great phone call.
All right, so he's taking it much better. Maybe that's because he's going to get more money in Houston. Maybe that's because
that phone call sound real good. That phone call sound. Yeah, you know what I thank Philadelphia? I'm thanking the Texans. Call sounded delicious. Oh man, money. Well, that's what it sounded like. That's what that call sounded like.
I find it very hard to believe that there wasn't something internally going on. And I'm not saying CJ GJ is a bad guy, but he's clearly an idiot with some of the things he says, with the Travis Kelce post that he had after the Super Bowl, just totally unnecessary, with how he's fighting with Slay, who's also like a teenage girl as well, who's retweeting mean things that people are saying about CJ GJ afterwards. hey, taking shots at Reed Blankenship, whatever. Like, he's a handful to deal with, right? He's a good player. I'm sure the Eagles, like you mentioned Vic Fangio before. If Vic Fangio decided this is a guy that we absolutely need, Jeffrey Lurie's not worried about the however many millions of dollars. They'll make moves elsewhere.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio both signed off on them moving on from CJ GJ, which tells me all I need to know.
And it's the thing he did with Micah Parsons. Like, he's just an emotional guy who reacts to everything publicly. And in Philadelphia, where we already have subtle drama, Jalen doesn't like Nick, and Jalen and Brown. And I'm like, we already have so much drama that's going to happen naturally. We don't need the extra rah-rah every time somebody mentions your name. But again, that's the first time I've seen him take something positively. You know, he wasn't happy when he left Detroit. You know what I mean? So he was mad Detroit didn't pay him. And at some point, you know, when you're dating and you're like, all men are dogs, and you're like, well, golly gee, maybe it might be you, because you go on one date and everybody trying to get rid of you. Like, at some point it might be you. So, you know, hopefully he gets his bag and he does well there. D'Amico Ryans is a great defensive mind. So hopefully he's happy out there. Like I said, he seems extremely happy in that stream.
Too happy. Yeah. Well, he knew about it. This wasn't like they didn't spring this on him yesterday. He knew about it because he said somewhere, someone said somewhere that he knew, or they asked him, like, he said he wanted to go somewhere where he could play a good team or whatever. And the Texans are a playoff team. So anyway, I feel like something's up, because then you saw, by the way, this portion of the show brought to you by Glatt Hair Restoration, glatthairmm.com, 610-980-4000. Also, just the fact that then you have all the Eagles reporters that came out, and they all pretty much were saying the same thing. It's my understanding the Eagles are doing everything they can to keep the core of their young team, blah, 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 blah. We have Sidney Brown, who we're very high on, blah, 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 blah. First of all, like, Sidney Brown's going to compete for that job. Sidney Brown, to me, is more of the old style strong safety. You need coverage safeties in today's game. You can't have a guy that wants to come down, he's like a little linebacker, and you get beat over the top in coverage. To me, Sidney Brown is that guy. He's going to get a chance to compete for the job. I think they draft somebody, they bring in a free agent. Justin Simmons is available. He was begging the Eagles, essentially, to get him last night. Yeah. So, like, Howie Roseman has shown he knows what the hell he's doing. So, you know what? I'm going to let him cook. And if he doesn't like something that I'm doing, I'll let everybody know about it. But I am not worried about this at all, Black Gritty. Not at all.
Man, I hate us right now. I hate us. Because normally this is where, like, you guys are just, you know, negative. You can't be positive about it. But then when you're positive, everybody freaks out like, oh, you're just going to act like it's nothing. Like, again, no one's even official yet. Slays technically hasn't signed yet. You know, it's just a rumored thing. Like, until they sign the contract, I don't know. You know, Becton, I don't know. So again, I can't really freak out right now. And I'm trying to live as happily as possible until, like, oh, you know what? I'm happy. You know what I'm happiest most about? I was right about Tanner McKee. Everybody kept telling me Pickett's your number 2. Nah, Pickett's out here trade baiting, because Tanner McKee is better than Kenny Pickett. Tiny Hands is gone. I'm happy about that. He got to play in the Super Bowl. More snaps than Dak Prescott will ever take in his whole entire career, more than Tony Romo. I'm happy for him that he gets to go somewhere else and maybe play with the Browns and the highest paid player in, like, NFL history that wanted to win a championship. Maybe he gets some Super Bowl caliber QB going over there in Cleveland. But Tanner McKee, it's Tanner time. It's always Tanner time. The Mormon missile. Yeah,
Mormon missile. There you go. Yep, that's what we need. And now you got a cool nickname, DTR, that's probably going to get cut and going to be on the practice squad. Do you see his lifetime numbers, DTR?
No.
1 touchdown and 10 interceptions.
That's too early for that. Don't be.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, because, like, when I've seen him play, like, I watched him play at UCLA under Chip, and then I've seen him play in the NFL. It's like, yeah, like, he's pretty good. He's a backup quarterback. Well, the stats don't tell you that. That's for sure. So, like, he'll be your third string. Maybe he makes the roster. Maybe he's on the practice squad and he gets elevated or whatever. Just depends if they want to carry 3 quarterbacks. All right. So in return for CJ GJ, they get a draft pick and some swaps or whatever, but they get Kenyon Green, who is a former first-round draft pick. He went two picks after Jordan Davis did at 15th overall. And he has been one of the worst offensive linemen in the game, at least last year. He was graded out to be one of the worst offensive guards in the game. And I don't care anything about that at all.
Nope.
You know why, Black Gritty? Because he's coming to Stoutland U. And he's 6'4", and he's 330 pounds, and he's athletic, and he's still raw. And here's what I know about Mekhi Becton. He was drafted high by the Jets. And when you go into a bad organization and there is pressure put on you to solve an entire unit's problems, and that's not what happened with Kenyon Green. It's a little bit different. But, like, some guys aren't ready. He was very young. He doesn't turn 24 until Saturday, Kenyon Green. He's 23, and he's in the 4th year of his rookie contract, so he's still a young player. You go to a spot where you don't have good offensive linemen around you. You don't have a good offensive line coach. You have turnover, so one staff gets fired and another staff comes in. Like, you're coming in to a situation if he ends up being the starter and they don't re-sign Becton. He comes in and he's just asked to fit in next to a Pro Bowl center and next to a Hall of Fame tackle, and one of the best offensive line coaches out there. So, like, I feel great about this. You just take his raw skills and you say, fit in, listen to me, and you get paid. I like this move a lot. It solves the issue of what do we do at right guard. It brings in somebody that at least has the talent to do it. Maybe they'll sign a veteran as well that'll compete with Steen and him. But, like, it's part of them. They got a former first-round draft pick in this trade as well, which is a big thing.
So there's someone right now that's going to be watching this later via podcast or download that will say, he's so much worse than Becton. And I tell them, you don't know football outside of the Eagles. Go look at Mekhi's story and the way he was treated and the way that he played and his demeanor and the way he felt about football. Okay. And then you take this guy from Texas who was injured, coming off injury. Again, like you said, the culture. Yeah, they're building a culture there, but the defense and the quarterback are basically the culture there. And now they don't have someone to help you build up after being broke down. But Stoutland University is that place. And if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere. That's how I feel about it. Because, again, I told you, it's just like Howie plus the coaching. And it's so crazy for me to say that. But I believe in Stoutland just like I believe in Vic. So bring the guy here on the same situation. Again, I hope Mekhi stays, and I hope that he's like just a filler guy who gets to learn and play a spot, because that was actually Steen's spot to start last year. Again, same thing I'm talking about. Like, the things that we thought that we knew weren't even the things that we thought. Steen went down, Becton stepped in, and nobody thought Becton was going to be able to hold that position. But he did. And when you hear him talk about the way the Eagles brought him up and brought him along and the camaraderie, how can you not just have a little bit of faith, even though you look at a guy who was graded very poorly? But again, so was Becton, and Steen was supposed to have that job, and he got beat out.
Damn
6
right.
months of football starts, Johnny Marks. I hate being positive, but it feels so good.
But I mean, it's also true. We just saw it.
Yeah.
There was no expectations for Becton last year. They
None.
signed him, and it's like, all right, he'll compete for the job. Now fans want to pay him $20 million a year to stay. No.
Yeah.
We'll find the next Becton. Maybe it's him. Just a couple of notes from a scout that I saw on Twitter about Green. Physical tools and pedigree. Former top 15 pick, ideal size and raw power. Right or wrong, that buys you time and extends your timeline in the NFL. Draft age. Green entered the draft at age 20. And entering his 4th year, he's the same age as some rookies this year. Guys that are coming out of the draft this year. Situation and environment. For Green's runway to get maximized, you need the right environment. Philly will be putting Green inside a run-heavy scheme between the best right tackle in the game and a good center underneath. And Jeff Stoutland's tutelage. Can't get better than that. So there you go. Well,
So good. 23 years old. When I try to say it to people, like, I was like, you don't understand what that means. He's so young. And if you did keep him, like, well, you can't just keep 1 year in some guy. But if you're going to keep somebody, you keep the 23-year-old and bring him up if he stands out and shines.
But you can keep 1 year in guys.
Yeah.
That's what that spot on the line may have to be, so you can afford everybody else. I get it. You want continuity. 4 out of 5 continuity is fine with me year after year. Now, if you draft a guy and he turns into the player, great. If Steen turns into the player, awesome.
Yeah.
But it's okay to have a revolving door. Like, if Justin Simmons signs with the Eagles, it's probably going to be a 1 year, right? You're going to have to plug and play veterans when you have holes. And you're going to have to do that. They're going to need it. I need a corner if they release Slay. I need a safety. I'm not rolling with Sidney Brown and whoever the hell's on the roster. You want to draft a rookie? Okay, you can do it. but you're going to need to bring some veterans in there. All right, coming up. So Black Gritty, and I guess he's like is he on the 53-man roster? Gillie the Kid,
Yeah, he might
be. King.
He might be. Gillie King might be on the roster. I think he is.
So he's on the 53. Well,
yeah,
he's at
100%. This year anyway. I don't know where he was in 2022. I don't know where he was in 2017. But apparently I know now he's officially on the roster. I know he is.
Because Neek was on the roster back in 2017.
Yep.
But he's retired now. Gillie's on there. So Black Gritty had some interactions with him last night. We'll go over that and the rest of Eagles free agency and what's going on around the league as well. Philly. John Marks, presented by Bet Parks and Central City Toyota. We are back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Damn it. Rothman. So check it out, right? Like, yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good right now, physically, even for a man of advanced age like me. But wasn't that long ago that my shoulder it was killing me. Really, really was. And it's one of these things where you're like, all right, it'll get better. Well, it didn't get better. And it wasn't serious enough to where if you have you need knee surgery or something like that, you can barely walk. Well, of course, then you're going to go to Rothman. But for me, it was like I just stopped being able to do everyday things. Like definitely couldn't throw a baseball to the kids. I couldn't reach the cereal on the top shelf of the pantry. That's when I'm like, all right, it's been a year. I gotta call somebody. I get this figured out. And I went to Rothman. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to need an MRI and maybe surgery and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, like that's why you go to Rothman, because they're a one-stop shop. You get your MRIs, you get your x-rays, everything from your first visit to when you get cleared and everything's good. But I didn't need an MRI. I didn't need a cortisone shot. They offered it to me. I was like, nah, I'm all right with a cortisone shot. I got physical therapy. I had a frozen shoulder. And after 6 weeks of physical therapy right there at Rothman in Limerick, shoulder was great, still feels good a couple years later, and that's what Rothman's all about. So their mission is high quality, compassionate, and affordable care, right? Each of their docs are laser focused on their specialty. So you're not just going to an orthopedic, you're going to a team of doctors for your hip, knee, spine. They have a team for each body part right in your backyard. Over 30 plus locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Urgent cares, walk-in centers, PTs, from diagnosis to discharge, you are getting the best care out there. X-rays, bracing, MRIs, physical therapy, and more. Rothman Orthopedics, specializing in orthopedics and you. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and to make an appointment today. All right, Bet Parks Casino. First of all, I haven't been because I'm really not watching the Sixers these days. And the Flyers are, Brenna will tell you, the Flyers are on a cold streak here as it gets towards the end of the season. So I haven't been on the Bet Parks app looking at all the lines. That's where I go. And you know what? I should look right now at the Birds and what their Super Bowl line is right now to win it all. But anyway, Parks Casino is my casino of choice. Action, excitement, headline entertainment, and the state-of-the-art Excite Center. It's one of these venues. I don't like going to the big venue. I don't like the arena, the stadium when I see comedy or music or shows. The Excite Center, amazing, state-of-the-art. Every seat in there is dynamite. And we're talking about MMA, boxing, concerts, and comedy. All right? Lee Bryce, country superstar, is coming March 22nd. Trevor Wallace, comedian, June 27th. Comedian Mark Norman, July 12th. Larry the Cable Guy. Get your tickets now, May 16th. And dinner and drinks before the show. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You must be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hoo-ah! All right, we're back. Philly with John Marks. Good morning, everybody out there watching on YouTube as well. Happy free agency day, 4 p.m.
It's official today. It's going to be on and popping.
But isn't it stupid that I feel like that, like literally, I'm exhausted. I need a nap after the last 2 days. It didn't even start yet. It's 4 p.m. today. Like, come on, give me a break. It's awesome, but still, it's a little hinky.
And then we got to sit there and wait with all the guys who don't get signed in the first wave of money being thrown around. And then it's like, again, the Eagles are going to be speculating on everybody that's left available. So it's like, for once offseason, I'm so happy that I could be stress-free and just wait and see what happens. I don't have to be like, well, I really need that guy. I really want that guy. People are broke right now. The league the cap is extended, but we are heavy and we're loaded for bear on offense. So we really just need to plug and play and fix up things on the defense.
All right, we'll do this thing with Gillie in a second. Bretta, can you pop up the tweet from Andrew Salchunas and Adam Schefter? So, and like, listen, I'm a big Schefty fan. I love all the insiders; they're the best. They really are. But Adam Schefter on Kincaid and Salchunas said, "I'm expecting them to shed even more salary." All right, well, like, what does that mean? So, Black Gritty, what salary are they shedding? What additional salary are they shedding if it's not Dallas Goedert, who most people believe that the Eagles have decided that they're going to move on from, that he's making too much money, and unless he takes a serious salary reduction or pay cut, that he is not going to be back. So what do you think? Thank you for the tweet.
Dallas Goedert is 100% not taking a pay cut. He's 30. He's trying to get the bag, and he's going to get to somewhere else. He deserves it. I thank him for his service. But I had to deal with Zach Ertz, and he was crying. He dyed his hair blonde. Like, Howie can only do so much. Howie doesn't pay running backs. Well, he did that. Howie doesn't pay linebackers. Did that. Well, Howie still doesn't like giving older tight ends money. So I mean, at some point, Howie's going to be Howie. Who else is left? Like,
nobody.
Nobody. Like, I'm really expecting the Jalen Hurts extension either this year or next year. Like the
Josh Allen got paid.
Josh Allen extension, and you think like, oh, it's all this money. It's really so they can again kick the can down the street. You were talking earlier, and it made me kind of freak out. Like, if I'm worried about one thing, it's Lane Johnson, because Lane said he's not retiring next year. Like, he's going to play this year, but Lane is getting older, and Lane is still the man. But I start feeling like, well, okay, that's that. When you start talking about like, oh, we can get a guard this year, we get a guard next year. I'm like, I got Becton. He turned out really good. This other kid, if we keep training up dudes and then send them out into the world to go be great for other people, that's the one thing that got me thinking. But
I think Lane's got 3 years left.
3 years left? Okay, that makes me feel better. Okay, I'm back.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I don't have reason to believe that, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready to stop playing. He had talked about retirement. We're going back a couple years ago where he had talked about it.
Yes.
When you're winning Super Bowls and stuff, man, and he's been relatively healthy for the most part, and like, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's making, you can't even say quarterback money anymore. He's making in the 30s, but everybody makes in the 30s now.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, defensive ends, almost defensive tackles. So we'll see about him.
You look at Mailata, like, I'm just thinking of all the bigger name players that are getting paid, that Howie can do his kick the can down the road kind of thing. I don't know who else he can move on from, because again, the defense is really young. Like, who are we paying that's left on the defense? Because everybody needs to get paid. So unless he's going to trade one, like unless he trades Jordan Davis, is like, look, I don't think he's worth giving that new big contract to. Like, I don't know where else they're going to be shedding money from. AJ Brown is not going anywhere. For everybody keeps complaining and worried about that because New England's tethered to AJ Brown's not going anywhere. I'm not worried about that. So I honestly have no idea.
It's interesting because that's one of my big takeaways from like that first wave of free agency when Milton Williams signs is, holy crap, man! Like, how much is Quinyon Mitchell? J.C. Horn just became the highest paid defensive back in league history, right? So it's like every player that comes along is going to become the new highest paid player at that position. And like, you can't worry about Quinyon Mitchell right now. He's in year 2. You can't worry about Cooper DeJean right now. He's in year 2. But it goes like, you do have to think down the road, like, what's he going to be worth in 2 or 3 years? What's Jalen Carter going to be worth in 2 or 3 years? And you bring up Jordan Davis, man, like, if he's commanding over $20 million a year, like, are you really paying Jordan Davis $20 million a year? This is such a big year for him because he can go from on the field snap downs. He got a little bit better against in getting to the quarterback last year, late in the season in the playoffs. But if he's playing 40% of the snaps and he's only playing on rundowns, like, you're not paying him $20 million a year to do that. And he's a first round draft pick, but like, you're not like, the Eagles are now making tough decisions. Finally, they're going to have to make some hard decisions here. So we'll see about Jordan Davis. It's interesting.
That's the reason.
Oh, your mic's off there, Black Gritty. Put that mic on.
That's that's you talked about Quinyon and Coop and Carter. That's the reason I love Howie right now. AJ, Devontae, pay them early. They're not the highest paid wide receivers, but he paid them early. So they're happy with their $100 million, $100 million. It's not the 140 that Justin Jefferson got. It's not the 142 that CeeDee Lamb got, because he doesn't wait. So Q and all these guys are going to get their contract. They're going to get a nice check, but I don't expect to hear Quinyon Mitchell, highest paid. I don't ever expect to hear that because Howie's like, yo, here's this Brett early. Knock yourself out. Just know that your other contract's going to come earlier now too, right? Like, you're going to get another contract. So, again, Jeffrey, who's got it better than us, Johnny Marks? What other team would you rather be right now? Nobody. I know we got hard decisions and choices to make, but my goodness, you're not the Colts hiring Daniel Jokes and paying him $17 million. You're not the Seattle Seahawks having a fire sale, giving away every single thing available. The 49ers are bleeding themselves to death because they were a stacked roster and didn't pay people properly, and now they're going to have to pay Purdy that $50 billion, and they're screwed, Johnny Marks. So, man, it feels so good to be a bird. I'm out here flying high, Johnny Marks.
You need what's the Monty? You need remember Monty had the hat with the wings on it, and he was crying.
I do have that hat when they won the Super Bowl in 2017. I wonder if my hat still has battery juice in it. I'm gonna try and find it for next week. I'm gonna try and bring it out. See if the bird's still flat. I might have one wing flap left on it now. It's from 2017.
All right, so I don't know if he's on the 53-man roster or he's the second mascot behind Swoop.
Yeah.
But damn, he was hugging everybody after they won the Super Bowl. Gillie Da King, with 4 million followers on Instagram. So Black Gritty, you did a little video, you put it up there, and you get a reaction from Gillie. So do we have the video? There it is.
So my video is just basically saying, look, guys, don't worry. Howie's doing his thing. Howie, we trust.
So this is a reply to your video that you put
to my video. And I was just saying, look, I appreciate the guys for their service, but they got
interceptions in 2 years. This guy goofy. So he called you goofy.
Yeah. And I said,
correct, Black Gritty?
Yeah, and I'm like, he has 6 interceptions this year.
6, and he's gone. I know you're not calling people goofy. Get that check, fam. It passed me a Naga Boss because he's wearing that big Eagles hat.
Yeah, he wears the Naga Boss brand all the time. So,
all right, so Black Gritty has become such an influencer and a celebrity. You can bring that down, Brenda.
Bring it down.
He's become such an influencer and a celebrity.
I haven't got his card. I'm a fan.
Your microphone again. What is going on with you?
You know what I mean?
Can't hear you.
And so I'm a fan. You can't hear me?
Is this me or is this Black Gritty?
Check. Can you hear me?
He looks shacked. I can't hear you at all. Hold on. Is it me?
It's got to be you.
Uh-oh. It's definitely me? Oh, no.
Yeah, they can hear us.
Well, this isn't good.
This isn't good.
BG, I got you. All right, hold on a second.
Well, I'll talk about what happened with Gillie.
Me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
See, so I can lip read a little bit, Black Gritty. I'll just need to look at the screen.
I can hear you.
What the hell happened?
I love technical difficulties.
Let me.
I love technical difficulties.
This literally just went right there. All right, hold on.
See?
Now try.
Try it again. Can you hear me now?
Oh, hell no.
It's getting worse.
Right, hold on. Let me look at
I might have to let Johnny.
Okay. I figured it out.
Okay.
Happened.
Oh, now I can't hear you, Johnny Marks. Now I can't hear you. He's like, I fixed it. And now he's gone. And okay. So anyway, if the chat can still hear me, burp, burp. So Johnny Marks can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Now we're good.
Yes. Now I
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We figured it out.
We figured it out.
All right. So here's what happened. Ready? So my AirPod was in my pocket, and it's been in my pocket the entire time. I was listening this morning or whatever, and then put it in my pocket, and I guess I activated it by touching it or like whatever, and it muted everything, and it was going through the AirPod.
Yes, I mean,
because on StreamYard it went to the default for whatever reason of that.
I'm in your pocket. So
yes,
real quick, if you could pull the video of that I sent you. Gillie actually is a lot of the fans of Philadelphia right now. He was very upset and he was very sad.
Very upset.
And I don't know if you could pull it up and play it or not.
First of all, man, it's been a little rough, man. I just want to thank Josh Sweat, man. I want to thank Milton Williams. I want to thank Oren Burks, Isaiah Rogers, Darius Slay. And I ain't gonna lie, this one hurt, man. The CJ Gardner, everybody know that's my guy, that's my nephew, I mentor him. That one hurt, man. But I just want to thank y'all brothers for a hell of a year, bringing us a Super Bowl. I just seen something, Dallas Goddard. Oh, man. First of all, the only fucking Dallas we love is Goddard. Like, so, I don't know what's going on, man, but I just want to thank you guys, man, for a hell of a year, man, for bringing us a Super Bowl. CJ, man, that joint hurt, man. I ain't gonna lie, I just shed a tear about that shit, man. But I just want to thank y'all, man, for bringing us a Super Bowl, man. Fly, Eagles, fly, man. I love y'all guys. All right.
He is hurting. And that hat is goofy. Tell me that hat's not goofy. Tell me you're not a 40-year-old man. I mean, I understand wearing it for a brand. You got a deal, and I get it. But you look like Daffy Duck tilting your head every which way with a gold brim all up in your face. Like, it's like, ooh, it was rough. But that's how a lot of fans felt and feel. They're hurting. Get them out here.
Same fans that were FUing him on Twitter 2 years ago are now FUing Howie on Twitter 2 years later. He was a good player. He was a good player. It remains to be seen if they can replace him. But the level of angst that I see from Eagles fans out there reacting to the Eagles offseason so far, CJ was not expected. Hasn't everything that's happened been expected? Didn't we talk about this for weeks since the Super Bowl? Didn't we say the priority is to re-sign Bond? These other guys are going to make too much money, and they made too much money. It's not like Milton Williams made $10 million a year and the Eagles said, "Oh, we're not going to pay you." That's $26 million a year. Josh Sweat made a lot of money. They weren't going to re-sign him for that kind of money. Hasn't everything else that's happened, didn't we know this was coming? What are we doing? The Eagles just won the Super Bowl. They've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. At what point does the team get the benefit of the doubt? The answer for some people is never. Literally never. They haven't missed on a draft pick in 3 freaking years. Look at this stacked roster that they have. I mean, Jesus Christ, they have 2 top wide receivers. They have the best back in football. They have the best offensive line in football. Jalen Hurts is like ice in his veins in big spots. They have the #1 defense in the league. Not anymore, Johnny Marks. Okay, let's see what Howie can do. You got to let him cook. Look at the draft picks they have. Right, like, they've earned the benefit of the doubt. I understand in the moment it's frustrating because nothing great's happening. You're only losing players. Let's see what happens today. I think he's got something big cooked up.
So I hate calling our fans or anybody who is a fan of our show or my show or anything dumb, but some people are just so dumb. Like, I asked, do you not watch football? Every Super Bowl losing team loses 7 to 8 players because they're going to get paid elsewhere. When you win the Super Bowl, you lose people. CJ, GJ, we're not going to make it to another Super Bowl without him. Look what happened when we lost in that one year. Yeah, I know what happened. We didn't have a defensive coordinator. We had Pencil Boy as the consultant, and it tanked our team late because nobody could gel or had anybody to listen to or follow. Oh, when Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs are never going to win another Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. And let me tell you, no offense to anybody, but I think Tyreek is a little bit better of an NFL player and better in his position and more valuable than CJ is. I just think it's a little bit better. And how did the Chiefs do when they got rid of him? And how bad does he want to get back to where he was already? Because all these guys go get the bag. Hargrave. Oh, he was clapping big stuff. The Eagles don't even practice hard. You know what I mean? We out here, the 49ers, all we do is practice hard. Well, practice hard with that non-Super Bowl ring, you punk. Because if you had stayed here, you'd have some jewelry on. But out there, you don't even know what to do in overtime. You punk Scooby McDoo. So just shut up and let Howie cook. Like I said, golly gee, is this what it feels like to be happy? I've never known. I've lived in Negadelphia my whole life. But right now, man, I'm so happy.
Times have changed. It's an uneasy feeling. It's an uneasy feeling, but embrace it, everybody. Embrace it.
Trying.
It's okay to feel good.
And
if they lose their first game, we will fire Nick Sirianni again, and we will hate Howie Roseman.
100%.
So, so we'll do that. Don't worry. All right, coming back, more on NFL free agency. Also, the 76ers and the Flyers. Flyers are like that's your branding, Black Gritty. Even though you're kind of your own entity now, your name is Black Gritty. So the Flyers' fortune, does it affect you at all? We'll discuss that coming up. Philly, John Marks, PHLY, back in 2-2. Don't go anywhere. All right. Well, listen, we got to talk about Glad Hair Restoration. That's right. You can take Gritty off the screen there, but Glad Hair Restoration. Listen, you need hair. If you're thinning, if you're balding. I didn't even put product in my hair this morning. I totally forgot, but I'm looking at it right now. It looks good. Looks good. Glad Hair Restoration. If you're thinning, if you're balding, if you're saying like, hey, I've heard Johnny Marks talk about this for years, hair restoration, definitely considering it. Awesome. But it's all stages of hair loss with Glad Hair Restoration. Over 30 years of industry experience when it comes to hair. All right. So maybe like you're looking right now and you're being like, man, I'm really starting to thin. My hairline's starting to recede. Maybe it's right here on the crown of your head. They have something for you. Science has advanced quite a bit. There are a lot of options out there, innovative options to slow down your hair loss, the shedding, everything else that happens, right? So that's why you go to glathairmm.com, GLAT hair mm.com. See my before and after pictures. A lot of great information right there on that website. You can also reach out to me. I'm available. You can slide into my DMs. Email me, johnmarksmedia@gmail.com. Any questions that you have, I just spoke to somebody yesterday. Handed them off to the people over at Glad. Said, I'm interested in more information. So you're not making a cold introduction. Because you can call right now, 610-980-4000. You can also text that number, 610-980-4000. Or if you want to just contact me, I can answer questions. I can share some pictures from when I had a hair restoration procedure done. Or I can actually introduce you to my friends over at Glad Hair Restoration. GlatHairMM.com. GlatHairMM.com. It's awesome talking about all of our great partners here at PHLY because like I'm just not reading copy for a commercial. All right. Like I'm not pretending. No, like Glad Hair Restoration. I've been partners with them. I've been friends with them for over a decade. TrueMark Financial is a little bit of a newer relationship with me. And I've seen them around TrueMark Financial Credit Union. But when I came to PHLY and I was, reading the TrueMark stuff or whatever, I said, you know what? Like this makes a lot of sense to me. I'm opening up a small business. I want to be a little bit diverse. I don't want to just go through my regular bank. I want to go to TrueMark, right? So I went to TrueMark, opened up a business checking account. Mary Ellen at TrueMark ends up being the branch manager at a very big wig over there at the Trooper location. But like she emails me the day after. She's like, I didn't know you were in yesterday. Like this is awesome. I'm a big listener to you, a big fan of you. So like that's the kind of service you're getting when you walk into a TrueMark. It really does feel like families. And I've been to many of the branches and you walk in and it's not, hey, like, let me have your deposit slip or what do you need? It's like, hey, how you doing? Come sit down. What can I do for you today? That's the kind of service you're getting. And it's almost spring. And you know what that means? It's time to spring into savings. That's right. If you have financial goals, maybe it's buying a house, taking that dream vacation, building your emergency fund, TrueMark Financial Credit Union has the perfect savings account for you. TrueMark Financial offers high-rate certificates and money market accounts. That's going to help your money grow faster and work harder for you. Visit TrueMark.com for rates and to learn more. Federally insured by the NCUA. Rates are subject to change. All right, TrueMark. Hooah! There we go. All right. What's going on with what else is going on with you, Black Gritty? I seen that you took a little bit of a sabbatical off the social media post the parade, and you've been back.
I did. I showed up for you, though. I showed up for you. That was the
You
only
did?
thing I did. I showed up for you, but I just need to reset my brain. After a week of everybody saying Jalen Hurts is great, even Slay was on. Why are they talking trash about my quarterback? Then a week later, he's talking trash about his quarterback who got him a Super Bowl. So the internet was just going crazy. I was like, I just need to just detox and enjoy myself. And as far as like everybody else, the Sixers they're down so bad. I hate kicking somebody when they're down. Like, I mean, what am I going to talk about? The Phillies, I got hope. I got dreams. Things are progressing. You know, it is what it is. Running it back again. Everybody always wants to run everything back, but not with the Phillies, though. We got to, figure something out. And as far as the Flyers are concerned, I've made 3 Flyers videos all season because I said, I'm just trying to watch these games. I'm just trying to enjoy the Flyers. They're not winning anything right now. They've told you what they're doing. They need to rebuild. They need to move on. People aren't listening to Howie. Howie told you at the combine, hey, some stuff's going to look weird. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Let me do what I need to do. The Flyers said the same thing, and nobody believed them until they moved their beloved 11-year vet. And everybody's like, how can he's a cornerstone? Yeah, a cornerstone of us losing and not having anything. We have to move on. I thank him for his service, and we have to move on. I will remember you. But I need draft picks. I need a chance and hope and opportunity. And that's what right now I just watch the Flyers from Michkov, and I'm just enjoying watching the young guy play and towards being a grumpy bear, which I do love in coaching. But he's about to burn himself out too. He's got maybe another year under his belt before he's worn out. But by then we've racked up players. So
that's your go-to when a player leaves. I will remember you.
Yeah.
You will remember me. So, but that wasn't the theme for CJ. It seemed like you enjoyed CJ GJ getting out of town because I saw you I think it was you to put it out there. He's got that Waffle House energy because he was tweeting out pictures of Waffle House.
So when the 49ers came in here and they had their Air Force Ones on, that was when I was like, yo, where's CJ at? Because CJ wouldn't have let that happen. Yeah. CJ would not let that happen. Like, there would have been a fight. It would have got kicked off. Like, he would have, it doesn't matter. But now, as much as I need that in my life, I got the baby Rhino. I got Jalen Carter. And not only does he have that Waffle House energy, he's got that Waffle House stature. He's taken on 3 offensive linemen. Travis Kelce trying to push him and can't. Like, I mean, Travis Kelce looked like my daughter at 4 years old trying to push me into a pool. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And so when I got a guy that's doing what I wanted CJ to do, and he's more prevalent and he's younger, and I'm okay, cool. Now I'm cool. Because if we didn't have Carter, I'd be like, yo, we need CJ. We ain't got no dog on the team. Well, I got one of the biggest dogs in the NFL. I got Reggie Light. Okay, so I'm cool right now. I am cool right now.
See, I think End of the Road it's just because of my age, but End of the Road by Boyz II Men. When somebody leaves. The road.
Yes, that actually feels sad though.
Yeah, that's when you're sad.
That's when I use for somebody that you're right. That's what I use when I really love somebody and they're gone and I'm hurt. You know what I mean? Okay, you're right. That does feel good. The other one is I'm making fun of people. You're right.
Right. Yeah, you were making fun of them. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that's the vibe. You're right.
You enjoyed it. No, you enjoyed. You couldn't wait to make a video, and then you got Gillie that's responding to it. So you won. Yeah. You were the winner of yesterday, Black Ray.
And to be fair too, I wasn't expecting CJ to be so calm about it. I was already expecting smoke. So I was already in my mind thinking like, yo, this dude's gonna pop off and say these fans are like I was expecting that. So you're right. I did enjoy it. I was fine.
You liked it.
Fine with it.
One thing I saw, you brought up the Phillies. So John Clark puts out a video yesterday, and here's the caption to the tweet. It says, Phillies shortstop Trea Turner has been working on his defense every day in Clearwater. Phillies need him to be better. He's putting in the work. Today they were working with Trea on his first step, and there's a 51-second video of Trea working out with like some coach or whatever. Yeah, like hang on a second. This is a 31-year-old dude that they're working on his defense. Like, hang on a second. I'm not telling you that he's not supposed to be working on his defense in spring training. But this idea, this propaganda that's put out there, like, look how hard he's working. They need him to be better. He's 31 and playing shortstop. You're telling me his range is going to get better this year, Trea Turner? Bro, I enjoyed the standing ovation. Jack Fritz got screwed out of it. It was our idea. And by the way, I got screwed out of that too. That just wasn't Jack's idea unilaterally. Believe me. He got to take a lot of credit for that. We took it as a show, but Jack got to take a lot of individual credit for that. And then we got screwed over by the captain, the Philly captain in the movie, which I never saw, and I whatever. Yeah. But you have a 31-year-old shortstop that was he have 30 years left on his contract, and they're trying to make him a leadoff hitter because they can't figure out what to do with him because he goes so ice cold. I mean, this ain't a good contract so far, Black Ready. I loved it when he gave him a standing ovation and he turned the season around. They're working on his defense in spring training. He's 31 years old.
This is the last time I'll do this, I swear. But last year, Johnny Marshall, when he started the season, he's one of the best players in baseball. He was so hot. He was stealing bases. He was doing that sexy slide moonwalk thing that he does. He was hitting the ball all over the park. He was peppering it everywhere. And then, dun, 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 he got injured. And when he came back from that injury, he was babying his hamstring, and he was just not himself. He went back to the old ways of just being terrible. But when he started the season, he was an MVP type player. He was on fire, Johnny Marks. So I hear everything you're saying. Turner, here's the thing. We paid this man $300 million. And people keep wanting Middleton to go spend more money. He's like, look, I just spent all this money on these dudes. They ain't showing up. You want me to spend more money? No, sir. Like, please, Trey. Please, Trey. Just stay healthy and get on fire and be the guy you're supposed to be. Because otherwise, Johnny Marks, we are screwed. And I'm trying to be happy right now. And you just said everything that makes so much sense and it sounds right. But I'm going to have a little bit of hope. Just a little bit. He was on fire to start the season last year. And we all thought it was carried over from the standing ovation. And then he got hurt and he went right back to sucking. And it was detrimentally upsetting to my heart.
Yeah, I mean, and the unfortunate thing is that, like, Phillies fans, now John Middleton's being called cheap. The Phillies have one of the highest payrolls in the league for 5 straight years. I think they have the second highest payroll this year. And they're mad because you get people that they're trying to say that, oh, the Phillies should sign Juan Soto. It was never going to happen.
Nope.
They didn't have the money. He didn't want to come here, right? So there's no way to say, like, oh, he wants to come here. All right, let's figure out if we can make this work. It was never going to happen. Then people set themselves up with bad expectations, and then they're mad afterwards. And it felt like that's what was happening with Myles Garrett this year for the Eagles. But Trea Turner signing takes you out of really any big free agent out there right now, unless they get money. I mean, look how many big salaries they have on this team. What do you got? Like they have legit 5 starting pitchers. A number of them are making a lot of money. Yeah. Schwarber's making money. Castellanos is making money. Bryce Harper's making money. Trea Turner's making money. Like Bohm's going to continue to make more money as he gets closer to being a free agent. Like, almost everybody's getting paid. And Trea Turner's he was the last big signing that they had, and it's not looking great right now. I'm hoping he turns it around this year because he was good to start last year. You're right.
At the trade deadline, I just want some moves, and I'm really what's the nicest way I can say this? I'm tired of the good old boy clubhouse. Thank you, Bryce, for choosing me, but that doesn't mean you get to have the aux cord on the whole road trip, bro. Like somebody else gets to play a little bit of music. You know what I mean? I like a little Jazz Chisholm up in my locker room. I want throw some pepper on the chicken. All right. Now we don't just need salt. Throw some pepper on the chicken. That's the nicest way I can put this. I want a little seasoning with my Phillies. I need something else come trade deadline this year. We got to see what needs to be what's out there, what we need, but don't be afraid. Change the aux cord. You can't have it, right, Bryce? I'm tired of you. So with Cooper DeJean, if he could play baseball, he would fit right in, you're saying, and Reed Blankenship? Reed Blankenship for sure. Coop might be part of the delegation. You know what I mean? Coop might be that undercover brother to sneak in there, and they'd be like, hold on a second there, young fella. Where are you from?
He can, he's agreed. Yeah, he's not your standard white guy that may have someone on that team. All right, so here's the question. Kenny Gainwell is signing with Pittsburgh, according to reports. Now, what song do you go for Kenny Gainwell? And I have another Boyz II Men song. Not the End of the Road. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. So it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Yep.
See, Kenny Gainwell, I like Kenny Gainwell. Every time somebody complains, where's Kenny Gainwell getting the ball? I'm like, bro, he had 4 touches.
He's good.
Like,
hey, he's good.
He picks up blocks. Like you don't understand. Like it's not just, oh, he didn't break over 30-yard run, but guess what? He kept the blitz at bay. Like he did his job. So I like Kenny Gainwell. I expected him to be gone. I expected the Eagles, like the Eagles kept, they're going to pay like $1-2 million. Somebody else is going to give him more than that. I don't know if he gets like 5 or 10 or whatever. But it's to me, I like him, and I feel more about him than I did Sanders. Sanders leaving, I was like, see ya.
Yeah, I agree.
Gainwell, you earned yours. You know what I mean? So it is hard to say goodbye to yesterday. That's what I'll play for him because I like.
All right.
I like.
Simple Minds, don't you forget about me. Breakfast Club.
Yeah, that's Fletcher Cox. That's Kelsey. That's a retirement song. I mean, don't forget about me. That's what I'm gonna keep that one for.
Miles Sanders was in sync. Bye.
There you go. We should actually make a list of this. We should actually do this. We gotta come up with our top list for how to mourn lost players. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we can have a list of like what we play when we get guys, how we get excited. I'm so excited.
Right.
And I just can't. This is look at us. We are just.
I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
That's why when we got Bryce, boy, because I tell you what, I can't remember. So here's the thing, Johnny Marks. I've always said thank you, Bryce, for choosing me because nobody ever just comes to Philadelphia. We always had to trade for somebody or draft somebody. A free agent who is the face of the league never just comes here. Now Saquon has come here.
Everybody wants to come there.
And people tell me like, oh, now you got to say thank you, Saquon, for choosing me. I'm like, yeah, but Bryce came here when nobody was here. Bryce came here when the Phillies weren't doing anything. So that's why I say thank you, Bryce, for choosing me because that's when the city was like at a lull. You know what I mean? And now we're up. Everybody wants to be in Philadelphia unless you're
right.
But even then,
you're right.
You still want to come here because we're throwing out checks and people get free money to sit and do nothing, Johnny Marks.
Man, a lot of money being out there. You're right.
A lot of money.
So what's your give me your favorite Pointer Sister song? Is it I'm about to lose control and I think I like it? I mean, I know the whole library of the Pointer Sister song.
So I know the library. I can't think one off the top of my head because I haven't slept yet. So my brain.
Well, there's Jump for my love, jump in, can feel my touch. Jump if you want, take my kisses in the night, then jump.
I'm so glad
for my love.
We're on new media because people would just hang up on us right now. They'd be like, look.
Shout out to everybody watching on new media on TV. Switch on over to allphly.com to watch the rest of the program. Come on, man. The Neutron dance from I think it was the original Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
I'm just burning, doing the Neutron dance. Ooh. Yep.
Oh man. And see, I know the songs. I just couldn't think of them off the top of my head, but I know that they have a library, they got a category. Man, I'm going to think about this. We're going to put a list together. It's going to go on the internet, and we're going to let people jump in and vote on who's the best. We're going to have like a little battle to find out who we play for what. Because these times are rough, and we need to stick together. You know what I mean? We need to help each other out. We need to laugh at the things we can laugh at because, again, it's Howie season. I know people don't like hearing it now for some reason. I know the league doesn't like it.
Yeah. What is this? I mean, everybody was just saying, "Oh, you're the best GM in sports." Now he doesn't know what he's doing. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's crazy.
And like I said, that's the Negadelphia. And I've been in that. I told you, I'm fully. I'm admitting who I was and what I was. But at some point, you have to bend the knee. I wasn't a Nick guy. He has won me a Super Bowl. That's what turned me into a Doug Peterson guy. I didn't like Doug. I was Doug negative. Then I went to Doug neutral because he won a little bit. He won. This dude gets free ice cream from me anywhere in life. You know what I mean? If I don't got it, I'll steal something for him because he got me my first Super Bowl. And now Nick has entered that category. There's only so much grumping and hate you could have in your heart before you have to acquiesce. For all you guys that hate Jalen Hurts for some reason, even though he's your Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback. So
we live in the moment like no other sports fans in the world.
We do. We do. When they say we bleed green, when Howie's like, I bleed for this city, we all do, Howie. We all do. And sometimes we're stabbing each other in the back, bleeding for this city. So, but yeah, it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be a Birds fan. And I can't understate how happy I am and how sick it makes me feel.
It's unusual. It's uncomfortable, but it's okay. We can get used to this.
Yeah.
I want a man with a slow hand. That's another Pointer Sisters.
With the easy, they got
easy
bangers.
touch.
I'm I might have to throw them on a playlist today. They got bangers. Like I said, I know all those songs. Those are all bangers.
Do you remember the video to Jump? The song Jump by the Pointer Sisters? It just had like, I remember it as a kid because Doc, they have a bunch of like athletes jumping. They'll have the guy doing the running jump into the sand. But Doc is in there. I think he does the windmill dunk in there. So you have a couple basketball players dunking too.
Oh, look at that. Now I'm gonna be watching that today. See?
Watch it. All right. Well, let's come up with a list of goodbye songs to our athletes. This is Kenny Gainwell. Pour one out. We have to pour one out for Kenny Gainwell, I think, today.
Yeah, he's a good player.
All right, BG, thank you. Excellent show as always. Britta, thank you for, as Tyler is off on paternity this week, we have a bunch of people filling in. And Britta did a bang-up job, fine job.
She did a better job than you out here with your AirPods. Get yourself together, Johnny Marks. Get yourself together. Got your AirPods, taking over the show.
The problem is I lost the left one. I only have the right one because I like it's in a pocket or because I've been buzzing it and it says like it's at my house because you go to the find my item or whatever, and it recognizes that it's here, but I can't hear it. So God, I mean, I'll find it 5 years from now when I'm moving furniture or something.
My daughter lost hers, and she was so scared to tell me because the thing's like $300, and I'm like, well, I mean, I usually buy her one for her birthday every year, so this is like her second or third pair. First she ever lost, we're like, you're gonna have to wait. You have to wait because I just bought you a pair. Like you got to wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I have one AirPod that I'm listening to.
Buy one. Like, can you go online and just buy a left? That'd be a good deal.
Right, but then that would make sense, and it would be good for the consumer, which they're not interested in doing.
Okay. Yeah,
right. I actually don't know the answer to that. I thought of that, and I never got around to Googling it. Yeah, all right, everybody, have a great day. And we'll talk to you later. Back live tomorrow at 8 a.m. Anthony is live right now. If you're watching us live, switch on over to Anthony. See ya.